these are some brands I love. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm sharing with you 10 of my favorite makeup brands that I'm currently really loving, that I'm either really interested in. And I did a video last time, like I think in May, where I talked about some brands that I used to love and that I'm not necessarily as interested in anymore as I used to be. And I thought that that could be a great way to also share with you 10 of my favorites. I could have featured more, but I wanted there to be a balance here. So I'm just going to talk you through like 3 favorite drugstore brands. There's some high-end / luxury brands here, some K and C beauty that I'm really enjoying, and then a favorite brands for eyeshadows as well. So that's what I've got going on for you today. I definitely think that I can do a rendition of this type of video with like my 10 favorite indie brands and my 10 favorite luxury brands, and like I could do a whole like series of it. So let me know if you want to hear that, because there's definitely that as well. I'm now sitting down, I'm like, I think I forgot to include MAC, but I did include MAC last time. But MAC is one of those brands that's starting to become a favorite. They've come out with so many good things, and as I'm filming this, I was supposed to be in Madrid, but because of my health issues I decided to cancel that trip because I'm just not feeling well enough. We're doing a little bit better every single day. The meds are doing their work. I hope the doctor I see on Thursday, I'm going to go see a specialist who knows everything about allergies, and because I'm on like pretty like hardcore antihistamine meds and those seem to be working, I'm interested to hear what they have to say. But yeah, I thought it wasn't wise, especially because we're having a heat wave in Europe as we speak, so Madrid is also super duper like hot this weekend. I decided to not go. So I was able to cancel the hotel just fine, and I was able to cancel my flight and get my money back. So that was great, but that does mean that I now have a bit of extra cash to spend, and it's going to be my birthday early July. So like, you know what? Maybe I can set up one of those appointments that they do at MAC counters and just try loads of new stuff and have them apply it to my face and like just get some recommendations on all of these new MAC products. I think I might want to do that, because very often it's like 50 or 60 euros to book the appointment, but that's money you can then spend towards buying some new products as well. And then I will have an idea of what all of these new things are. That new Sunstruck bronzer set, I think it's a Studio Radiance Sunstruck bronzer, seems really interesting. Those have just come to Europe. They've come out with new blushes. They've come out with a new concealer that I would love to try. I finally was able to be shade matched into Studio Radiance foundation, so that is something that I'm still going to be testing out for you sometime this year. So yeah, MAC is doing some interesting things. So I think I want to also like try and go back to some older products that I used to love. The Mineralized Skin Finish comes to mind. So MAC is a brand I'm really sort of like making my way towards. But the list of products I have for you to hear today, just to showcase, just to give you an example of what I love about these brands. And I did want there to be like different products for each brand. So the product I'm showing you per brand isn't necessarily like my hardcore favorite thing I would recommend by them, but just so that you have a little bit of a mix of recommendations here. And since I'm dropping things, I'm just going to start off with my favorite C beauty brand of the moment. Cherry App is close, but I've only tried their eyeshadows. I haven't tried anything else from the brand, but a brand where I'm slowly but surely really discovering the entire range. I've tried eyeshadows by them, I've tried blushes by them, I now have a cushion foundation and a concealer by them. So I'm really thinking that I'm going to slowly but surely try more and more by Joocyee. So they are a C beauty brand. They do this really beautiful tortoiseshell inspired packaging blushes in the shades. Mine are in Raspberry Rum and Camelia Latte, and I don't remember which one is which. But I believe this one is Raspberry Rum and this is Camelia Latte. And these are those like barely there kind of blushes that just look really good no matter. And they do some really good sparkly eyeshadows. I also have one of their eyeshadow palettes that I enjoy. I like the foundation. I did a video the other day where I tested out the foundation and the concealer that I tried from them. So far, they're one of the best brands I've discovered in recent years, and I really like them. They aren't super cheap, but they aren't super expensive either. They are very much in that middle ground. I find them on YESSTYLE. I have a code with YESSTYLE. I am affiliated, but I do buy plenty of products on YESSTYLE with my own money as well. It's actually how I became affiliated. I think they saw me place all of those orders to try as much K-beauty as I could a couple of years ago, and then they invited me for their influencer program, so that was lovely, and I was able to try these. I don't remember whether I paid for these with my own money or whether I had some sort of gift coupon. In the past year, I haven't had to buy anything on YESSTYLE with my own money because I made so much in like affiliate revenue that I'm now part of like a more higher tier in their affiliate program, and every 2 months or so they seem to be sending me a coupon that I can then spend on the website. So that's what I've been doing. But yeah, so far I really enjoy Joocyee and what they have to offer. They do some really, really wonderful things, and they are becoming a firm favorite in my makeup collection. So let's stick to the Asian beauty products for a while there, because the other brand that I really, really enjoy and that I've tried, again, a range of products across different types of makeup is Romand. Now, Romand is your classic K-beauty sort of brand. So if you know, you don't like sheer, you don't like barely there makeup, if you don't like if you want more like this, what I'm wearing today, Romand isn't for you, okay? We all know that K-beauty tends to lean on the more subtle end of the spectrum. It's just the way it is. But if that's something you want to dip your toes into, and that's something that sounds interesting to you, then try Romand, because they do some really lovely things. I really enjoy their lip stains. Pretty much every single K-beauty lip stain I still own, Romand. This one I wear the most. It's the Dewyful Water Tint in Custard Mauve. They do some really lovely mauve shades. They do some really good ranges of things. I really enjoy those. I have some blushes by them now. I've tried a cushion foundation by them, which I also really enjoy. So I've tried one of their glitter eyeshadows, and their Better Than palettes are hands down one of my favorite K-beauty like eyeshadow lines. I have 5 or 6 of these, and I like all of them. This is a warmer toned option they do. This is called Mahogany Garden, and this is their Better Than range, and you get a full row of mattes here, some shimmers to play with. One of them is a pressed glitter, which I wasn't a fan of until I tried it. It's a really good one. And then just a couple of things to play around with. They do some wonderful things. The ratio of mattes versus shimmers in most K-beauty palettes tends to lean towards more matte finishes, so that is something that's good to know. And this is going to be sheer. You're not going to get this kind of eye look. I'm wearing Epic Beauty Jewels of Eternity on my eyes today, and to give you a bit of a head start on the review that's coming towards the end of the month, this is really beautiful eyeshadow. I really enjoy it, but that's not the point of the video today. So those are the Asian brands done. So Joocyee and Romand are 2 of my current favorite brands. Love them. Let's talk the drugstore. Let's do drugstore. We all know drugstore makeup. If it's cheap and cheerful, I'm of course going to like it, but there are 3 brands that I personally feel fit within the drugstore category that I tend to like the most. You have your Rimmel and your Maybelline and your L'Oreal that you can get pretty much everywhere, but I feel that here where I live, we don't really get all the exciting releases from those brands. But what we do get exciting releases from is these 3 puppies. So I've got Essence here, I've got Catrice, and I've got Kiko. There's a reason why these 3 brands make a regular appearance here on the channel, and that is because I love them so much. They're also really easy for me to get, and it's easy for me to get my hands on their newer ranges. So it's sort of like a 1 and 1 equals 2 kind of situation. If it was easier for me to get my hands on things like Maybelline, L'Oreal, and all the other brands that are very popular across the globe, if it was easier for me to buy those products, I would probably make more content with them. With these, I just find it so easy. I can buy them online. I can buy them into my local drugstore. Like literally, I can just go out in town and find these products. Makes it super easy. Essence and Catrice are the longest standing feature here on the channel. I have been making content with them for more than a decade. I'm not affiliated with any of these 3 brands because I just really, really enjoy them, and they don't really send out a lot of PR to begin with, so it can be very hard to figure out what's good and what isn't, because they aren't necessarily brands that a lot of people make content with per se, at least not in my experience. What does irks me a little bit with Essence and Catrice is that if you go in store here in Europe, the displays aren't massive. So for instance, their entire foundation range, even if they do a really good foundation shade range, it's gonna be something you have to go online for, which at least have the testers out in store is what I find. But that's the thing. I've tried so many of these brands. It's well cataloged here on my YouTube channel. And before I was making regular YouTube videos, they were a regular feature over on the blog. So I have so much content and I've tried so much Essence and Catrice in my day. But two of the standouts products, these I've repurchased over and over and over again. The Essence Make Me Brow and the Catrice Glam & Doll Waterproof Mascara. These are both on my face as we speak. I use these all the time. This is one of my favorite eyebrow gels of all time, which seems to have been discontinued. So I'm very nervous what they're gonna bring back. I'm just hoping that they're gonna repackage this product and like give it a slightly different name and that we get a different brow gel in August when, well, July, August, like sometime this summer, we're supposed to get the fall winter range. So I'm hoping they're just gonna bring this back in a more like updated sort of spiel because I don't know how I'm going to cope without this, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure I'm gonna be fine. I'm sure I'm gonna be fine. Same thing with the Glam & Doll. This isn't being discontinued though, but they have come out with like different versions of this. They have had several Glam & Dolls in their line for years. I swear by the waterproof version because it's the best thing at sort of separating my lashes and also for the lower lash line. If you're someone who struggles with smudging of your mascara on the lower lash line, I would highly recommend this. You're only getting a little bit of product, and because it is waterproof, it is going to be less likely to smudge and smear if you're like me, like you're dry skinned and you wear a lot of like very creamy concealers. This is excellent, and I use this to top over a volumizing mascara to help with separation and to make my lashes look a little bit longer. But I like a volumizing mascara most because I've got naturally pretty long lashes and they're also curly. So I don't really need to do a lot with my lashes, but these I always feel like are the best finishing touch. I discovered this product around 9 years ago when I moved into this place, and I think I've gone through 4 or 5 of them every single year since. So, you know it's good if I love it that much. And then we move on to Kiko, and Kiko is not necessarily a drugstore brand. They're from Italy. They have standalone stores where you can shop from or you can find them online. They have a lot of different websites for different regions, so you can definitely just type in Kiko Milano into Google and figure out if there is a website that sends to your location. I find that the website, but also in store, they do a lot of discounts and deals and sales all the time. And I find with Kiko that their regular range is usually better than what they do limited edition. But they do very often do several limited edition collections throughout the year, so there's lots of new products that you can try. I'm actually sitting down to film another video right after this one where I'm actually going to be sharing all of my favorite Kiko products with you. And there's a lot. Like, I have several products in every single category of makeup almost from Kiko. It's how much I love them. Kiko Milano is the more affordable sister to a lot of high-end brands. My theory is that because Kiko Milano is made in Italy, where also a lot of luxury brands are made, you are going to be finding lots of dupes for more high-end products. I would discuss that a little bit more when I do film my Kiko Milano video. But for instance, the eyeshadow sticks I love are really good alternatives to the not Lisa Eldridge, but the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks, I believe they are called. I have a periwinkle version here. This thing is years old in my collection, but I still love it till this day. So yeah, their eyeshadow sticks are wonderful, but that's just one of many products that I adore from Kiko. So Kiko is another one. It's a little bit more expensive than Essence and Catrice. In my brain, they fit within the drugstore category because price point wise, they are very similar to like a L'Oreal over here. Kiko prices have gone up. All prices of makeup have gone up over time, but I feel like Kiko it's getting there. Their Cavalli limited edition collection, I was like, are you charging me $29.99 for a bronzer all of a sudden? Like, what's going on there? But I do feel their regular range is pretty affordable, and especially if you can get a deal, it's excellent. So Kiko Milano, I truly, truly enjoy. Then I also have some high-end brands for you, so things you can find at like a Sephora or a department store. Here in the Netherlands, you'll be able to find some of these products at places like Douglas or Bijenkorf. So depending on where you shop, you can probably find these products. Dior is, I think, one of my favorite more like standard beauty brands that I've used for years. I currently don't have too much Dior in my makeup collection. I have this foundation. This is their Backstage foundation. But I would love to try one of their concealers. I travel with their face palette all the time. There's a bronzer and a highlighter that I have from them that I absolutely adore. But Dior is another one of those brands, a bit like MAC, where I'm like, that's a long-standing favorite, and I'm slowly but surely finding products again that I'm just falling heads over heels in love with from this brand. So Dior has been with me since my very early makeup days. There are products from Dior in my makeup memory box that I've bought over the years that I truly love and adore, from lipsticks to eyeshadows to limited edition cheek products that I've invested in over the years. And Dior has just been a very good, constant sort of brand for me that I can just go back to, and I know I will find something that I can trust and that works for me. And that has been rare for me within beauty, because within the beauty world, so many brands just keep changing things up. And whereas Dior has changed a lot over time, I used to love their eyeshadow formula back in the day. And then they reformulated it and I didn't love it as much, but I just know that they do bring things back. They come back around to things, and it's a brand that I know I can trust. So that's why Dior is a firm favorite as well. And then I'm very, very happy that these two brands are now available in the Netherlands. They came to Douglas in the past couple of months, and I'm talking about Fenty Beauty and Rare Beauty. So super happy that I no longer have to go abroad to find these, because for the longest time I had to travel to Paris or to Germany or to London to find Fenty Beauty and Rare Beauty. The Fenty Beauty Demi Glow Highlighter in Pretty Pearls, firm favorite. This is something I know I will hit pan on. This shade and this formula is very sort of in between the Killawatt highlighter formula. So the Killawatt highlighters have a duo pan with a subtle and a more intense one, and I've been saying for years how the one I have in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, if they could do like something that's like right in between, I would love it more. And then they do this, and this is exactly that. So love that. Fenty Beauty is of course known for being quite shade inclusive, even though that new bronzer, they're getting a lot of flack for that one. So they're not always doing the best thing, but complexion wise, Fenty Beauty has only been doing things for me like that suit my skin type in the past year or two. Before, Fenty Beauty was very sort of matte, full coverage, and that's not how I live my life. But now that they're doing more dewy products, I've been able to find a concealer I like from them, a foundation that I like from them. I've been able to find like a blush, bronzer, highlighters from them that I like. I still have Fenty Beauty eyeshadow as well. So I think, again, with Fenty, I've just tried things in every single category that have just stuck with me. Not everything has worked, but overall Fenty Beauty is a really good brand for me too. And I feel similarly about Rare Beauty. With Rare Beauty and also Fenty though, I do feel their cheek products are my favorite. But with Rare Beauty, I've also, I love their skin tint. That's a really good product too. I have a bronzer and I have a contour from them. I have a highlighters from them. I have like powder blushes and liquid blushes from them. I have so many products from Rare. Also lip products that I've enjoyed. I haven't really tried any eye products from Rare that I truly enjoy. I do hope, they've been teasing a new eyeshadow palette with this gorgeous green shade in. I hope it's going to look nice. My only gripe with Rare Beauty is that everything tends to be quite warm toned in terms of the undertones you get. So if you have very cool toned skin, you're probably not gonna like it. This is Encourage. This is their mauve tone blush in the liquid formula, and I do really enjoy this one. It's really beautiful on. A little goes a long way, and I do really enjoy Rare Beauty for the aesthetic and the products that they're doing. They have so many really excellent products. And that brings me to my two favorite eyeshadow brands. And I wanted to make this my favorite indie brands, but like I said, I need to perhaps just do like a bit of a spin-off series and like showcase like my 10 favorite brands for eyeshadows, and my 10 favorite indie brands, and my 10 favorite luxury brands, and like 10 favorite drugstore brands, and like showcase some products that I've tried in each category. I think that's going to be something I want to do in the rest of the year. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. But one of my favorite brands for eyeshadows is Viseart. So Viseart is a bit of a weird one. They are an American brand, but they sort of have this Parisian chic element to them. I definitely think at first when this launched, a lot of people thought that this was just a French brand. They're not. Their website is based in the US. The best way to get them, I feel sometimes, is through their official US website, but that does mean if you live in the EU that you're going to be hit with customs. So that's something to bear in mind. But on their official website, they have the most products, I find. Whenever I found Viseart at a different retailer like Beautylish, and also Boozy Shop is a Dutch website that carries them, they very often don't have the full range. They only have a select few of the newer products, and things tend to be out of stock and never be restocked. However, on the official website, I feel that they do bring things back. I think, if I do a quick count, that Viseart is the brand that I have the most palettes by now. I've been building that collection over the years, ever since they've been coming out with these 12 pans. These 12 pans are my favorites. They do loads of them. I have loads of them. Do you need as many as I have? No, but by now it's just sort of one where I take one for the team, and if they do a color story that just remotely piques my interest, I tend to try it. I try a couple of Viseart palettes every single year. Love them. This is still my favorite. This is the Violette Étendue. This is the first Étendue palette that they did. It's nice and vibrant. And if I remember correctly, they've come out with another Violette palette that's sort of like in between this and the Nocturne. So I have the Violette Nocturne that they did last winter, but they've come out with like a more vibrant version of that sort of sits in between this and the Nocturne. Again, do I need it? No, but I know that if I want to buy some more Viseart, that palette is going to go into the shopping cart immediately. This is lovely. This is one of my favorite purple toned eyeshadow palettes on the planet. The Viseart palette formula is one that is one of the best ones on the market. This is not, though, for if you want kapow, like, sort of pigmentation, though. I feel this is softer, more subtle makeup. The shimmers in a lot of Viseart palettes are more on the satin-leaning side. They sometimes go into a metallic, and some of the palettes have duochromes in, but for the most part, Viseart formula is very forgiving. If you have a lot of texture, if you struggle with creasing, if you have a lot of fallout that happens on your lids throughout the day, whether that's because you have oily lids, whether you have very dry lids, whether you have very textured lids, whether you have more mature lids and wrinkles are a thing, I feel that if you struggle to get eyeshadow to work for you and you haven't used Viseart yet, that they can be a brand that can really solve your issues, provided you do, of course, do the necessary prep work. This is going to work best if you make sure you have a good base, make sure you use an eyeshadow primer. I prefer to use two when I do my eyeshadow. I always go in with a sheer one that acts as sort of like an adhesive, so that makes it stick. And then I like to go in with a second primer to make sure my eyeshadow, my canvas is even. A bit like, you know, applying makeup to your face. If you want your blush to show up true to color, it's good to have a nice even base underneath it to make that work. So I have a MAC paint pot that I use for that. So I'm currently using the Milani eyeshadow primer as my step 1 primer. I do the rest of my makeup, let that sit and marinate so it has a bit of time to get sticky. And then I go in with a MAC paint pot, which I set with a MAC eyeshadow to help with blending. I don't like a sticky primer because I feel I cannot blend my eyeshadow. And then I apply my eyeshadows on top. And that works for me with every single eyeshadow. Like even this, like I'm wearing the Epic Beauty today, like I said. And this is very creamy, very emollient eyeshadow. And I've had no issues with these creasing on me. Make it make sense. So yeah, Viseart is excellent in terms of quality. And I think also a brand that's a little easier to get. But the other brand that I love, if you do want more pigmentation, boom kapow, in your face kind of level of intensity when it comes to your shadows, my favorite tends to be Bella Beauté Bar. I did a quick count. I have 9 Bella Beauté Bar eyeshadow palettes in my current makeup collection. That's a lot. I hadn't even realized I had this many. And they became a favorite when I tried their Poison Garden. They bring this back from time to time. This is not out of stock as far as I know, but I've tried some of their newer things. Not every single thing they do is my favorite per se, but it's like, if I want to steer you towards just one brand that I truly love to give you like the ultimate most pigmented shadows, I feel that Bella Beauty Bar is my favorite. They do a really good, interesting shade selection in every palette that they do. They always give a good variety of mattes and shimmers. It's pigmented, it's interesting. This is their grungy palette. They do neutral things, they do cool tone things, they do warm tone things, they do very colorful things, they do very vibrant things. They do things that are a little bit more cool tone. They have everything. And it's just one of the reasons why I truly, truly appreciate them. Even if I've tried palettes that weren't necessarily my favorite, I still have them in my makeup collection for comparisons because I still really enjoy the color story. Whatever it is, there's always something about a Bella Beauty Bar palette that I enjoy. So that's why I wanted to feature them here as one of my favorite brands. If I were to do like a 10 favorite eyeshadow palette brands, then these two would be definitely in there as well. But if I were to, for instance, do like 10 favorite indie brands that I know I'm going to make a slightly different selection, because I do really enjoy indie palettes. It's just the way. But yeah, Bella Beauty Bar I think is a great starting point. And those, my dear friends, were all of my favorite brands so far. These are my top 10 current favorite beauty brands that I like to shop from, that I either have tried a lot by, that I've loved over the years, or that I just keep coming back to, and that I just very slowly but surely am building a really good collection with as well. So I hope this was useful for you. Let me know in a comment down below, what are your 10 favorite beauty brands? What have you tried most by? What do you look for all the time? Maybe there's a brand that you're always excited for whenever they do new products. That could be the case as well. Let me know, and then I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Check back next time, and then I hope to see you then. Bye-bye!